Hit me with this.
Are we live? Is this thing on?
Yeah,
it might be.
I'm losing the hair there, man.
It might be. We might be live. I see the flow. It looks luscious for Jack. Shout out to Jack, one of the smartest best ball minds. He wrote an article that I did not give its flowers to. That is the author of the disparity theory last year, and he absolutely smashed it. Shout out to one of my favorite humans on the planet, Michael Rip. Dude's a legend when it comes to the sports books, just predicting anything and everything. He's also a diehard Dolphins fan, so I'm here for it. And shout out to my co-host with the most sleazeball, aka Sleazebomb, aka Derek, aka my brother from another mother. So we'll start with you, Rip. Where can the folks find you, your content, all that good jazz? And yeah, just tell the folks where they can find you, buddy.
Disco, for two things. This is great to be back, man. See your face, see that mug. I missed you guys. It's yeah, but I gotta just correct one thing before we get going here. I am no longer a diehard Dolphins fan. In fact, I died a Dolphins fan. I am a free agent. I am supporting whatever team sends me their jersey first. Sleazebomb. My man, you've been talking about getting me a Niners, getting on the gang, bang, bang. We'll see. But we'll see as
all aboard
into OTAs.
I could get you a Julian Edelman jersey right now.
If you can get me a Drake May jersey, I might have to switch it up. And that's my boy. Look, in all seriousness, great to be here. What a cast, man. You can find me at Michael Rippey, and I control my account again. So you'll see my stuff popping up soon once we head into training camp.
Let's go. Jack, let the folks know who you are, where you're from, what you're doing, as long as you'll effing love me. But before that, guys, you guys want to queue up in the main?
I'm down.
All right, I'm queued up. Let's do it. Rip, where are you?
I'm in New York, baby.
Okay, so you could queue up with us.
I could.
Let's go. So we're queued up in the $20 main, $2.5 million in total prizes, $500K to first. Jack, I'm sorry. Please let the folks know who you are.
No, that's fine. I'm a nobody. I'm coming back in July, though. No, we've been on hiatus for a minute, basically. I took the off season to focus on playoff hockey and basketball, build up those coffers, and I've been doing all right for myself. Hit a couple of winning streaks on the buzzer beater and the Wednesday wraparound. So I've been having a good time this off season, but we'll be coming back in July with a new house, new office, new channel, dressings, the whole nine. We're coming back strong.
Love it. Sleaze, the co-host with the most, please let the folks know who you are, where you're from, and if they're new, to make sure they smash the subscription in the description on the YouTube channel.
What's crack-a-lackin'? Sleazebomb, always here daily with my guy Disco. Good to see Michael Rip back in here, finally getting some action here. The hair's looking good. I'm losing all mine. Jack's got a full fucking head going. I'm getting jealous. Disco's shining. So you can find me at Sleazebomb across everywhere. My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show podcast. You can also check the link in the description. We are working on updating our Patreon daily, which is a premium Discord, which is going to set you apart from everyone else in Dynasty and help you win your championships. And I'll be starting my shows come May 14th as soon as the schedule drops.
Amazing. So in case you guys don't know, we'll just get this out of the way. We are queued up for the Drafters main. It is the $2.5 million tournament, $500,000 to first. It's best ball weekly scoring from weeks 1 to 17. 12 teams draft fast and slow. It's a $20 entry, and you get to max out with 140 lineups. And here's something cool that you guys need to consider, right? So if you open this up right here and you look at milestones and bonuses, you get double. You get double the free amount of tickets. If you were to draft 10 drafts, you'll get 2 instead of 1 if you get 10 drafts before the 30th. If you get 25, you'll get an additional 2. So that's 4 free tickets for 25. You're going to be drafting regardless, right? It's real money, $500,000 on the line. So there's so many ways to get free drafts, and there's no other app on the planet where you could get free drafts and free shots on net to potentially win a life-changing amount of money. It's absolutely incredible. Is everybody queued up in the main?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thanks for coming from the Twitter side. Welcome into the YouTube channel. If you guys are on the Twitter side as well, make sure you hop into Big Draft Energy's YouTube. Helps out a ton. Smash the like, smash the subscription. My man brings the heat.
It's a good group of guys. It's a good cast. We are currently queued up. If you guys want to come in and snipe us, we're currently at 9 out of 12 in the Drafters main. And if you have not signed up on Drafters, make sure you use promo code DISCO to double your initial deposit, dollar for dollar, up to $100. It is best ball, which in my humble opinion is the most giving away for your draft. You have 20 rounds to fill your roster for depth. Each week, a starting lineup is composed of the following positions. It's 1 QB, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex. At the end of the week, the best overall performances on your weekly matchups will be applied to your weekly roster. So no more leaving points on the bench, no more waiver wires, no more trades, none of that garbage. What do we do with that garbage, guys? Somebody's got to take it away here.
Get that garbage out of here.
Get it out of here. You literally just draft and forget unless you're winning a life-changing amount of money. So make sure you use promo code DISCO to double your first deposit up to $100. Hussein says, Disco, can you play the Disco Good song maybe later from Don't Mess with the Zohan? I wish. I can't find it anywhere, and I haven't had the time to like remake it and rejig it, but I promise you we'll work on it. But in the meantime, what I could play for you is
What's up? What's up?
And now, since we do have a panel here, guys, and there's a bunch of us, if somebody says something egregious, we get to use this button.
Hold up. What did you just say? I'm going to need you to stand on business.
And that means you have a minute and a half to defend your take, no matter how egregious and how obnoxious what you said was. All right. So if somebody says something absolutely bonkers, like, for example, yesterday I said that JJ McCarthy sucks at football and Aaron Rodgers will be the starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. And Debro, I know, name dropping, weird flex. Debro lost his mind and almost left. Yes, I did say it, and I mean it with my entire soul and my entire chest. Now, Jack, you got a piece of paper that you're flaunting around before the stream started. The floor is yours, sir. The floor is yours, sir. Let us know.
Beauty. So last season, I wrote an article called Running Back Discrepancy. And the idea was that, I know it sounds simple, but it's like, yeah, running backs score more in fantasy football and in best ball in particular. So I was like, okay, but how much more are they scoring compared to the running back 30 to 40? So let's take the top 10 guys and let's see what's the difference between those guys and the guys that are finishing in that 30 to 40 range compared to wide receivers. And what I found was the discrepancy of a good running back versus a bad running back is a lot bigger than a good wide receiver versus a bad wide receiver. And so it's like, at the end of the day, you take, Saquon Barkley and Chase, those are kind of guys that break the model. So you have to take them out in a sense because they scored 200 plus more points than the guys that came in 40th, basically. So where you want to look at is really the 7 to 10 range. Those guys really are finishing, you look at the running backs on average are finishing with about 250 to 300 fantasy points by the end of the year. The guys that are finishing from 7 to 10, that's 140 to 180 more fantasy points than the guys in 30 to 40. Whereas you look at the same range in wide receiver, it's a difference of only 40 to 60 fantasy points. And then you're like, but wait, what about all those guys from 10 to 30? It's like those guys are all living within a range of about 40 fantasy points. So it's like you could just take a scatter shot of any of those wide receivers, and as long as you're finishing with like a handful of top 24 wide receivers, the difference in points isn't going to be as large as missing out on those really high-end running backs. Because again, it's like you look at even Jahmyr Gibbs finished with 385 fantasy points compared to Kareem Hunt was at 30 with 164. That's such a massive gap. And then you look at like Terry McLaurin, who finished in BTJ. BTJ had an amazing season, right?
We sure
259 fantasy points. At 30 was Marvin Harrison Jr., who had a terrible season. He had 170 fantasy points. So again, it's a smaller gap between that mid-range wide receiver. So this idea that like you got to take the top wide receivers at the top and you got to bypass the running backs because all the running back value is in the late rounds. And then on top of it, last year it was compounded by the fact that all the good running backs stayed healthy and hit. So
and they found themselves in top performing offenses as well as free agents, which was pretty incredible. But not necessarily pushback. There was one outlier at the wide receiver position who just outscored everybody and anybody simultaneously.
And shout out to you, my man. Jamar Chase was the only one, and the year before it was CeeDee Lamb. But this is actually one more thing. It takes a lot more for the wide receivers to break the model than it does for the running back. Because you look at CeeDee Lamb's year, the year before was an egregious, like outrageous year. You look at Jamar Chase last year, 1,515. That's basically what it takes to break the model. Whereas like you look at Derrick Henry, he had 390 fantasy points last season. That's only 30 behind Saquon.
Yeah, then I mean, you're not kidding. Which is
Yeah,
pretty much what
Saquon
my entire approach has been this year. I've gone hero wide receiver. I'm trying to find that one outlier wide receiver in these best ball drafts that's going to absolutely break the mold. And I'm just going to take a bunch of stud running backs early, like round 2, 3, maybe even 5 and 6, and try to get 3 or 4 good running backs with that stud, that stud top tier wide receiver, that one who is going to break the mold. Like I said, Jamar Chase last year, no matter what, he was on 100% of the winning lineups in the top 100. And then you got a combination of guys like Saquon Barkley, Derrick
Bowers,
Chase Brown. Bowers wasn't on a lot of like insane lineups, but the ones that won, especially a significant amount of money, Bowers was in there. But there was a lot of Jonnu Smiths, for example. So yeah, it just goes to show that like strategy always changes on an annual basis, but the theory and the discipline kind of stays the same. Speaking of theory, here's the GOAT, Derek Brown. Great show last night. If you guys don't know, this is D-Bro from the Fantasy Pros, and yes, he's in our audience. He says, expecting the same RB1 and wide receiver one to repeat every year is a tougher bet than expecting a new one to take their place. For sure, expect it to change, and that's another thing, right? We said this before earlier in the week because this is what our 4th stream since we're back. A guy who has been campaigning for Jamar Chase no matter what the last 2 years has been me. Even when I was wrong 2 years ago, I still doubled down last year, and I still campaigned for Jamar Chase, and it made me right. I do know this. If history repeats itself, unless a wide receiver has like a really bad case of CTE, he is not going to repeat as the wide receiver one in fantasy football. So as much as I love Jamar Chase, it's tough to believe in Jamar Chase being capable of repeating as a wide receiver one. And we were actually discussing another significant trend. And I don't wish this on him because the league is much better when he's healthy and when he's throwing, some nice balls, deep pause. Every other year, Joe Burrow is hurt, right? And if Joe Burrow misses any sort of time this year, Jamar Chase may not repeat. Which brings us to the next point of the next talking discussion. And Rip, I'll let you go first. Oh, shit. Oh, that's not it. There we go. Hold on. We're still rusty. Who do you anticipate? And I know I'm putting you on the spot. I know that this is unscripted. This is just straight fire, right? Who do you think is going to be that outlier wide receiver, one receiver this year? State your case. Stand on business. Hold on. Before you do it, I gotta find it. There it is. All right.
Hold up. What did you just say? I'm gonna need you to stand on business.
All right, state your case.
I'm gonna state my case here, but I want to just be clear. How far, like where is the outlier starting? Where can I go with the outlier?
10.
So Brian Thomas Jr. doesn't count?
Oh, he 100% counts. That's my guy.
All right. I'm standing on business. I think that BTJ is the outlier, even though depending on what rankings you read, he's right there in that wide receiver 9, wide receiver 10 range. The opportunity is great. he could be the number one guy. He's got a new offensive scheme coming in. We've seen what Liam Cohen has done in the past. This is the time. He's got weapons around him as far as Travis Hunter. I think it's going to unlock BTJ to take it to another level. He's the guy that is the outlier wide receiver for me that could finish wide receiver 1.
I love that take. I absolutely love it, and I believe in it. And I'm going to have to bring a different answer because you stole mine. But I love the fact that even Debro yesterday was talking about loving BTJ as a potential wide receiver 1 this year because he has the formula, which brings a question. If we love BTJ, we love Travis Hunter. Why can't we love Trevor Lawrence? Why can't he get the love? Shout out to PPR Fantasy Tips. He says, good crew right here. Yes, sir. You're always welcome to join and hop in and talk ball, buddy. Derek Brown says, Chase could repeat, but I think Jefferson, Puka, and BTJ have a very good cases to be wide receiver 1 overall this year. Jefferson is out as long as JJ McCarthy's the starting quarterback there. I love you, Debro. I'm sorry. And he also says Bijan RB1. I mean, it's very plausible. It's very plausible. It's between one and 2. And exactly, you should love T-Law. I have T-Law as a MVP candidate this year. That's what I have him projected for. We're going to see him unlocked. And just to add to what Rip was saying earlier, because obviously he took the guy that I liked, and I'm just going to add on to what he said. If you look at air yards per attempt, if we look at air yards per attempt plus accuracy, Trevor Lawrence is tops in all those categories when he's healthy and when he's playing. If we look at what BTJ is a monster at, it's incredible how underrated he is in the yards after the catch, but where he is a specialist, where he's absolutely incredible, and where he separates himself from the rest of the wide receivers, where he is the best wide receiver is as a deep ball threat. If you pair those two with a good scheme, a little bit of protection, and obviously the health with Trevor Lawrence, you're looking at potentially the next Megatron and then some. And I compare him to Megatron, not in a light manner. I love that comparison, and I think it's very on par with what his potential is. All right, Sleaze Bomb, wide receiver 1, talk to us.
Get active. Here we go. This is more, I would say, not a lot of people are going to make this call right here, and we're going to go outside the box. I'm going to go with, it's going to tie to Zach Robinson, who comes from the Rams, who comes from Sean McVay, and I'm going to go with Drake London based on what I saw last year. When Michael Penix came in, he averaged 13 targets a game. I think one game he had 20. But the only thing that scares me away is I agree with Debro in chat that I do think Bijan's going to be RB1. And I was thinking in my head, is there ever been a time where the wide receiver 1 and the RB1 are on the same team? I couldn't think of any. That'd be a great question for chat right there if you guys know. But that's what scares me away. They're great offensive line, their power run game. Even Algier would be a starting running back on most teams if he was out there. But you also have Kyle Pitts on a contract year 2. I just think Drake London's going to see the most targets in the NFL this year.
I love it. By the way, who was number 1 on Drake London last year?
You called it top 5.
I called it, and I
top 10.
it.
I forget. Yep.
Yeah, I called BTJ
and
top 10 and London top 10, and both of those calls smashed.
And by the way, Sleeves,
yep.
Great call, but there was a time RB1, wide receiver 1 ended up 2021. You go to Minnesota, you look at Justin Jefferson.
Was it really? I know he was. Who was the running back?
Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook was RB1 in 2021? No, it was Jonathan Taylor.
I mean, I guess it depends your scoring, but I did a quick search here.
Are you going points per game?
I love it. Jack, who's your wide receiver 1, buddy? And our lobby filled, so get ready to draft.
Oh, we're in.
Yeah, I'm at the 101
finally
again.
out of a different spot. Love me.
Willie says Disco 101 again. I know. I don't know what the back end of the draft looks like. Drafters is just giving me too much love. All right, so yours truly is at the 101. Sleaze is at the 103. Jack is at the 105. Willie is at the 107. Rip's at the 110 to wrap it up. I don't recognize any other names.
Fry's at the 9, Packers fan. He's in there.
Sick.
My boys.
Yeah. Okay. Shout out to Fry. We love you. All right, sorry, Jack. You're up, buddy.
I got 2 hot takes in
okay.
one hot take for you because the wide receiver 1 this year We are not worthy. It's going to be Xavier.
Oh, God.
Worthy.
I have him top 5. I'm very bullish on Worthy, and I love that take, Jack, and I'm here for it, and I'm listening to everything you're saying here. Because
Xavier Worthy, if you look at the run that he was on last season, and you look at the fact
I'm pulling out the hair I don't have.
this is a double thing of I think Rashee Rice is overrated in the sense of he's a fine body wide receiver, like a possession guy, but they drafted Worthy to
hang on. I need you to drop that stand on business. Rashee Rice was wide receiver 2, averaging 22 points a game before injury. He's a what guy?
He's a possession guy.
He was possession guy.
He was.
Hold up. What did you just say? I'm going to need you to stand on business.
All right, we played the sound. He called you out.
Outside of Travis Kelce, who was even there when Rashee Rice was doing those 22 points per game? And who was doing
Isaiah Pacheco was still healthy.
And who was doing it when Rashee Rice went down with that ACL tick? He's going to be working back from the ACL. He's not just coming in on fresh legs like nothing happened last season. Xavier Worthy was the Tyreek Hill replacement. I think there's room for Rashee Rice to still be himself in this offense. Worthy represents a unique figure in this offense and in the NFL. And if they want to get back to the Chiefs of old, like that's kind of what they started doing towards the end of the season. And if anything, they didn't do enough of it. And I think they're wanting to do more of that. They're telling us that by getting guys like Hollywood Brown, and those guys got injured and it didn't work out. But I'm telling you, I think Worthy takes that full step forward. It doesn't matter who else is in the offense. And I think part of it too is Mahomes is also coming off last season, going to be playing finally with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. And I think he also goes back to like 4,500. So I'm projecting Mahomes to positively regress a little bit. I think Worthy takes on the full wide receiver 1 role. And you're still going to have very productive weeks from Kelce and from Rashee Rice. And because honestly, even outside of those two guys, it starts to get real thin again. They just still haven't addressed true depth. It's like you're looking at guys like Jalen Royals and Juju Smith-Schuster still hanging around on this offense. It's like it really goes through those
Jalen Royals.
I'm sorry to interject, Jack, but like your only argument for Worthy, because I agree with that sentiment, your only argument for Worthy is look at the efficiency per catch. Look at what he did with the efficiency metric. Now everybody's saying, because like we got Bones saying Worthy won with Rice back ?
He's not even being number 1 on his team.
Here's the thing, okay? If you look at the 10 draft commandments, we got the first 2 rules is rule number 1 in the big draft energy 10 draft commandments. Don't be a homer. Don't just draft players from your favorite home team, because if your team sucks, your fantasy football team is going to suck as well, and it's going to be terrible. Your wife's going to be just don't do it, right? Number 2, do not draft injured or suspended players. Hello, this guy's going to be both. He's going to be both injured, coming off of a catastrophic knee injury, and potentially suspended for being a fucking bozo. And I try not to curse here, but he's a fucking bozo off the field. So if you pair those 2 things together, you have a recipe for complete disaster. If we're looking at the metric of efficiency, of explosion, of being a top-notch wide receiver, the guy who has all the things that requires a top 5 wide receiver, that the ability, the intangibles, all that shit. You look at what Xavier Worthy can do on the field. You have a very small sample size, and we saw it down the stretch. He was one of the most explosive players. Just add a little bit of volume to that, and this guy's breaking fantasy football. He's completely breaking fantasy football. Don't overthink it. Xavier Worthy right now is the best value in fantasy football. It doesn't matter the format. It doesn't matter if it's a dynasty startup. It doesn't matter if it's best ball. It doesn't matter if it's redraft. I don't care if it's IDP and Travis Hunter's available because he's a fucking cornerback. I don't care. Okay, it's Xavier Worthy, the best value in fantasy football, period. And people are going to tell me I reach for him at pick 25, and it's wrong. Jack, I agree with you 100%, sir.
I like it. I like the pushback, but Rashee Rice is a way better wide receiver than Xavier.
Liam, trying not to curse, by the way. I'm trying my hardest. By the way, guys, just let me address the audience. We have 387 people viewing us right now, both on Twitter and on YouTube. So shout out to you guys for tuning in. If you guys want an opportunity to win a chance to win $500,000, and all you got to do is draft a fantasy football lineup, come on over to the Big Draft Energy YouTube channel, smash a like, and if we get to 30 likes,
way you're about to get Reek Rip. That's nice. God.
If we get to 30 likes, we will give away another opportunity to draft a lineup that could potentially win you $500,000. Right now, all four of us are in a real money draft. This is not a mock draft. I repeat, not a mock draft. It's a real money draft with real money implications. Imagine what you could do with $500,000. And all you have to do is subscribe to the Big Draft Energy YouTube channel and smash the like. And why shouldn't it be you? Why couldn't it be you? It should be you. You deserve this, right? If you think you know ball, I'll put my money where your mouth is. What's wrong, Kobe? All right. Okay. Any other talking points or discussion points? Because I have a topic that I definitely want to address, but I feel like I'm over talking right now. Sleaze, Rip,
Andre dropped in a question in chat there. He said, which Browns running back do you guys like? Obviously, Judkins for me.
Yeah. I think Judkins leads to an interesting discussion point because, kind of counter to what I was saying earlier with the running back discrepancy. I think, and I told you before the show, a movable object means unstoppable force. This incoming class of rookie running backs and how they can potentially affect the field, I think that could rise all tides for the running backs, but I think it's also going to almost like do like the opposite of where it's like wide receivers are really not going to matter like after the end of this season if all like even three of those top running backs hit this year. I think next year people are going to be so down on wide receiver because it's just like you can just take whoever in the middle rounds and they're going to do basically the same thing as the guys in the top rounds, except for, 3 or 4 guys.
Sorry, Kobe wants to.
I'm just a little more worried about, them drafting 2 running backs in the first 4 rounds. And Dylan Sampson was no slouch, man. He dropped 25 or 22 touchdowns in the SEC.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Who else? Again, it's like the NFL these days, you have to have multiple guys on the roster. And when you look at the rest of the roster, it's like, well, they don't have anybody else. It's Judkins, Sampson, and Ford.
Right. Yeah. I'm just saying, I want to see how it plays out. I think Judkins is going to get the crack at it, but I do think you'll see a lot of Sampson too.
Yeah, but if you get 250 carries out of Judkins, that's almost like lock, stock, 1,000 yards.
Rip, where do you stand in that backfield? And yes, Seabass, shout out to you, buddy. Love you, buddy. He says W dog. Yes, sir. Colby's the best.
I'm staying for Cleveland, just in general. There's too much uncertainty. I mean, you don't know who's quarterback. You don't know how it's going to unfold. I think it's going to be a weekly thing. And, I like Judkins' talent, but it's just a stay away.
Here's my only thing.
Right? The Browns are just the Browns, man.
Judkins' current ADP right now, if you guys look at the screen, is 68.9. And then if we go down, how far down do I have to go? Sampson is 178.9. Judkins is not going to be the receiving back in any sort of receiving situations, especially if they're playing from behind. And I think we can all agree, if we're looking at scenarios and we're looking at situations with the current quarterback disaster that they have there, Cleveland's going to be playing from behind a heck of a lot. Their defense isn't great. Yes, they improved. They brought in Mason Graham. Yes, but they did not fill a lot of gaping holes that they had. They drafted unnecessary players that, okay, you needed a running back. Cool. Judkins would have been perfect, but you had to double down and get Sampson. You need a quarterback. Cool. Gabriel would have been cool. You double down and you got Shador. You also have Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett there. The entire scenario and situation is going to be a disaster, right? So if I'm looking at, okay, well, if Cleveland's up, Judkins is going to be able to pound the rock, control the time of possession, yada, yada, yada. I don't think they're going to be in the scenario where they could do that.
That defense is going to keep them in some games, though.
for sure. In a lot of situations, they can. And if you look at how they play within the division, you got to throw out all sort of sense and logic when that division plays.
Oh,
because
close.
anything that's a theory, anything that's a trend, anything that's a statistical anomaly, that's out of the way, right? Because that division just plays each other weird.
Right.
But
yeah,
you
it's
also
like 2017, 21, 24. It's all low scoring grunge matches.
Yeah. So, but you also got to take a step back in the games where they're not playing within the division. They're going to be playing from behind. So it's going to be a lot of check down work, a lot of third and longs, and we're not going to see Judkins on the field there. So if I'm talking about who's a better value right now, I think we would be drafting right now Judkins at his ceiling with his current ADP. I think that's right where his ceiling is. You're not going to get much of an ROI. Whereas with Samson, I think you're drafting him at his floor. And I think that's how you win, especially in these best ball tournaments, your best ball championships. And you find those outliers is you find these guys who are below their floor and way below their ceiling as well. And I think Samson's in a very special spot there. And if you think about schematics and game script and how it's going to play out, he's definitely one of those guys for sure. So you got both the Judkins truthers, because Judkins seems like the obvious answer. But if you look into it, it's definitely, yeah. And yeah, we said 30 likes, guys, and we will do a giveaway.
Smash the likes.
Yes, sir. My guy quadruple.
Smash those likes like I'm smashing this best ball draft right now.
I can't wait to review everybody's lineup. I really am looking forward to it.
Rip's wide receiver start is lights out. Tyreek should not fall that far. Good Lord.
Just smashing.
Yeah, I wanted the track star team. You seem to have it. I do like the Hampton pick, but I think you're drafting him at his ceiling as well. He's another one of those players where it's like, I like him in Dynasty, but best ball, I think we're seeing him at his ceiling. But it's all theory. I could be wrong. NFL DFS picks. Great guy. Wonderful human being. Make sure you guys smash the subscription. Speaking of great guy and wonderful human being, Hot Take Sid, if you guys are not following him on Twitter, fix your life. He's absolutely phenomenal. One of the greatest human beings and one of the greatest Twitter accounts to follow. He's a big diehard New York Knicks fan, and apparently they're doing good right now. Tip Major over on the Twitter side says, "Yo, fellas, good to see you." Tip, whatever. Good to see you, Tip Major. I like Trayvon Harrison in PPR as an RB2 down the stretch. Decent ADP right now. Yeah, he's a little inflated in my opinion. His ADP is a little too high for me. What do you guys think? Do you guys?
I wanted Shakir.
I'm trying to get Shakir's the safest play in fantasy football this year.
I love this start.
Thank you, Sleaze.
You're welcome. Dude, I can't. That wide receiver start for you is great. We just talked about the two wide receiver ones. You got BTJ and London, and then you get the home run hitter and Reek.
It's hot.
Tip Major's like Jack and the Ripper, like Sleaze and I aren't on my show. Could we talk about ETN, please? PPR leagues, is his ADP way too low? Need to hear it, please. Ingram is gone. PPR and thank you. I think his ADP is way too low. I think he's still going to find a way to outperform where he's currently being drafted. I like him. I think he's in a contract year, and I like to bet on running backs who were drafted with early draft capital, who have shown brilliance in the past, that they're going to double down on themselves and at least secure a contract, whether it be in Jacksonville or elsewhere. So, I love him to secure the bag this year. And Travis Etienne, Jalen Warren, those guys, the fact that their ADP keeps going lower and lower, I'm going to keep buying more and more. What do you think, Jack?
I wanted to be more in on ETN and the bounce back. My problem is that I'm a Bashal Tootin truther. He was my favorite running back in this entire running back class. And I think that says something because it's such a deep class. But he reminded me, like, I know it's easy to compare him to Bucky Irving, but he's so smooth. When I was watching him go through his pro day and his workouts and all the bag drills, like, he just looked like the most natural, like, runner in terms of balance and technique. And that's something I always look for, because those guys, generally speaking, like, they just stay up and find yak, and those guys, they break through. And you look at Liam Cohen.
Can you hear my dog? He's going crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking adorable.
Jesus.
And you look at like Liam Cohen and just the way that he managed Bucky Irving, and I think we will see kind of almost an upgraded version where it's like ETN is supposed to play, I guess, like Rashad White's role, but better. But then I think we're going to see a lot of Tootin. I think Bigsby, I think either it's going to be Bigsby or ETN is going to be on the outside looking in, because one of them is going to get like that kind of like primary Rashad White role, and then I think we're going to see a lot of Tootin mix in.
I respect it. Rip.
Talk to me, baby. I'm just putting.
Take my snack, huh? Okay.
Things are getting personal when we're talking football. Hey, man, it takes a special quality to be able to talk ball, answer fantasy questions, and also draft a stud lineup. I think we're all doing pretty well in our drafts right now. The question is Travis Etienne. How do you feel about him? Is the ADP too low currently?
For me?
Rip? Yeah, you.
Oh, all right. ETN?
Yeah. ADP, is it too low?
No, because I'm a big Tootin guy. So I think ETN's being phased out for sure, and it's going to happen quickly. Again, the new regime has no connection to ETN, so it's very easy to move on from the past. And look, they drafted Tootin. They're going to want to play him. They talked about him. The new GM talked specifically about him. I'm very bullish on Tootin, and I'm bullish on him early. And no, don't forget, Tanks Bigsby was solid when he got run too. I'm not big on ETN at all.
I don't want any part of ETN.
3-1. I like my odds. I like my odds a lot. I'm betting on ETN. I'm betting on him, betting on himself, and cashing in on the contract season. I love running backs in a contract situation, in the contract years, and he's going to be one that you guys should buy the dip on. That's my humble opinion. That's how I feel.
Disco, would you be shocked if he got traded?
Yeah, that's the only reason I'd buy him in best.
That's a range of outcomes that I believe in. But who's the best suitor right now?
Cowboys.
But the Cowboys wouldn't be a good scenario for him because that's just that's more crowded than his current situation.
Right,
I know you guys like Tootin, but before the combine, unless you're like a true college diehard, nobody fucking knew who he was. Let's be real. The combine is what made Tootin, pop, because he ran really fast. And I mean, the numbers, they kind of match. They're okay. Like he's a decent back, but I don't think he's got the same ability and capability as Travis Etienne. And I think we're forgetting how special Travis Etienne can be and how special he was just 2 years ago. So I'm buying the dip. I'm buying it as much as humanly possible because maybe not in Dynasty, but in best ball, I'm betting on the guys who are in contract. And there's 5 running backs in the contract year. The post is out there. We spoke about this before, but if you're just new and you're just tuning in, every year, historically, if you follow the historic data, every year where there's running backs on a contract year after they're on their rookie contract and they were drafted with top 3 and they've performed well in the past, they all fucking ball out. So this year, the 5 running backs are Breece Hall, James Cook, Kenneth Walker III, Travis Etienne, and Jalen Warren. And I know Jalen Warren, people are hating on him and not. As I said, I'm buying the dip. I love it. It's very low risk. Like PPR Fantasy Tips said here, it's very low risk. You're buying him below his floor, right? So you're only getting the ceiling and result. And that's what wins you these best ball tournaments in particular, right? I can only talk about best ball because that's kind of like my passion. That's my thing. Dynasty, I understand the argument about not that. And exactly, James, follow the money. We got to catch up with the chat. And I see that chat's popping. If you guys are watching us on Twitter, it really does help us a lot when you guys come over to the YouTube channel and the YouTube side of things over here on Big Draft Energy. Smash a like. If we hit 30 likes, guys, I'll do a giveaway. I'll give you an opportunity to draft a lineup for $500,000. Tip says, I said, yo, fellas. I know, I'm just yanking your chain, sir. If H took better, that last pick would have been nice build. Who's 8? Is that you, Rip? No. Who's 8? Oh, zone offense. Yeah, I'm not paying attention to him, but I am. Love the terrible towel. Ew. Etienne season says Stones over on the Twitter side. I don't know whose buddy he's in, but shout out to him. See the Jags trading Etienne. I don't. I think they're going to let him ride out this last year, and I think he signed somewhere else next year as a free agent, and he's going to break the bank. And I'm not going to be investing in him because we're going to see another Miles Sanders situation. Buy the dip. Amen. PPR fantasy. Tyler, if you want the invite to hop on and chat, I could send it to you, or have Slee send it to you. Travis Etienne Jr. is worth a stash on the bench or at the end of your best ball drafts. Exactly. He's not going to get workhorse volume, but he will get the majority in my option. I think
I don't think round 9 is a stash round, but
I think you get more. There's more benefit in taking the gamble on him at that round in best ball than there is, it being a detriment, right? It's kind of like the same territory as Zamir White last year, and I don't want to compare him to Zamir White because that like smashed in my face in a very bad way. But it's the same territory where it's like not going to really affect your lineups. Drafted for the contract year, Hallelujah. Etienne is at such a good price in basketball. It's one of the best prices. Low risk. Amen. Follow the money. Kamara is a very good example from last year. Hold on.
I'm jumping on the Dak Prescott train. Top 5 quarterback season.
You see, you're suckering yourself into this, dude.
Inbound.
I already know where Sleaze is
It'd
at.
be so funny when it turns out to be Joe Milton.
So James saying Kamara is a very good example from last year. And I'm saying for everybody who's a Kamara holder and Kamara owner, I know everybody wants to draft Devin Neal, right? Because everybody and their mother thinks Devin Neal is the handcuff. Devin Neal is a complementary role. He's the short yardage, goal line kind of back. His role's not going to change. Kamara's getting older. He has missed significant time the last 3 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. His perfect replica was just picked up by them this year in the draft, and that's Marcus Yarns. If anything happens to Kamara, Marcus Yarns is going to be one of the hottest commodities. Make sure you get him in the last round of your dynasty startups, the last round of your dynasty rookie drafts. Get him in the last round of your best balls if you have Alvin Kamara, because no matter what, that role as a receiving back will be protected. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Marcus Yarns has elite upside. It's all ceiling, no floor, but that's what wins you these best ball tournaments. He's a workhorse, he's getting workhorse volume. Okay, Stones. He'll be back. Stones, get your ass over on the YouTube side. Jesus Christ. Willing to bet on it too. I'm willing to bet that you won't get on the YouTube side. I bet a Drafters Fantasy Best Ball ticket. I don't know who Stones is. Whose follower is he? Is he your follower, Jack?
One of ours. I don't know.
No, I couldn't.
It
actually turns out I couldn't do the thing.
Oh, okay.
You gotta pay Elon for that. I'm not about that life.
Fair enough. James says Etienne just averaged 4 targets last season. Ingram is gone. I think he will get 5 to 6 targets per game this season. That's not a bad ticket, especially in PPR format. He's worth the gamble. We're spending way too much time talking about Travis Etienne. There is a topic I want to discuss, and we'll open the floor for questions after this next one. I personally just don't see the upside for Etienne. Very low odds at being a workhorse and pretty low TD upside as well. I'd rather take a shot on Tootin. I respect your opinion. I do. Mossy, Disco. Mossy, did you get your free ticket from winning yesterday's duck race? It should be in your account, sir. Congratulations once again. And yeah, I saw your comment about the good karma for being bumped because Sleaze put No Cap's name or your name twice, and we bumped it so we're glad you won it, buddy. Congrats. Yes, I did. Thanks. Amazing. Drafters is on top of it. I love it. The best app on the planet. Jack's smashing this. Yeah, he's more quiet than usual, so he's definitely locked right now. I hope I'm having a decent draft and people say I'm smashing it. I don't even know who I have on my team right now, but I'm gonna queue up some fellers. Okay, so you guys heard me talk about the whole concept of, okay, this is a player that we're drafting at their floor. This is a player that we're drafting at their ceiling, right? For example, just so people can follow along, Chase Brown last year had a spectacular season, a season I don't think he's capable of repeating. He's currently being drafted in the 3rd to 4th round. Where did he go here? He's got drafted as a 33rd overall pick ahead of James Cook, Alvin Kamara, and Omarion Hampton. Are we drafting Chase Brown at his ceiling, or are we drafting him at his floor for this year? What kind of return on investment are we going to get? Sleaze, you're up first.
I think he's going to have a monster year for sure. I mean, he was a draft winner. I don't see Taj Brooks cutting in much. Zach Moss took the pay cut, but I don't like it at value. if that makes sense. We're drafting him at his ceiling for sure.
Okay, perfect. How do you feel about drafting players at their ceiling?
What the Bengals offense is kind of a different story though, because I feel like this offense is going to be lights out, but I usually don't like it. But it's hard to ignore how this offense is going to have to score to stay in games with how bad their defense is. And Rashid Shaheed is here, 30 past ADP, and I have Olave. I mean,
who's throwing him the ball? Have you seen? Who's throwing him the ball?
It's going to be. Didn't you know Tyler Show?
Yeah. He's me shucking
it. He's him.
Yeah, he's him. That's right.
I mean, still, you get the volume of playing from behind every single game, though, too. That's nice.
You look, you're not wrong on playing from behind, but I'll just echo what you said, Sleaze, because you made a good point. I think Chase Brown has a great season in him ahead, but you are drafting him at his ceiling. And to answer your question, Disco, I think you draft players at their ceiling more early on than late. Early on, you want more stability with your first few picks. So I'm more okay with drafting, sort of ceiling. As you go down, you want to draft upside.
Jackie boy. Oh, Jackie boy.
I agree with that. I mean, I'm not a
guy's higher than
upside first three
right now.
picks.
Look at him. He's just ready for bed. Chase Brown. Are you okay? Are we drafting him at his floor or his ceiling this year? With his,
I think you're drafting above his ceiling because I think he's a bust.
Oh,
I mean, I tend to share that sentiment and that agreement. James, you were very bullish on Zach Moss last year. Zach Moss was overdrafted and his ADP was way too high. Right now, he's being undrafted, round 20 at best. I think you're getting nothing but positive ROI with that. It could be nothing, but the risk is also nothing, or it could be something that's very significant. Chase Brown cannot sustain the success he had last year, especially with the touchdown equity. And especially if, I'm kind of just fading that offense as well.
Sleaze kind of, glided over it, and James just mentioned it. I think Taj Brooks is a lot more of a thing than people think. And, it's like we want to pump up the Jarquez Hunters and the Brashard Smiths of the world, but you're going to ignore Taj Brooks. Like, he looks better than both of those guys. And what happened in the running back class this year in the rookie draft is, outside of like the really top guys, a whole huge section of like really solid running backs kind of got pushed all the way down to day 3. And I think we're going to see a lot more of those guys hit than usual. And, I'm looking at a guy like Taj Brooks. I'm looking at also a guy like Ollie Gordon, who was a smash first rounder the year before, has a really bad college year. Now all of a sudden, this guy's drafted in the 6th round. Like, I don't think the discrepancy of how good of a player he is really that big of from a 1st to a 6th. I think he probably should have been maybe a 3rd or 4th round pick. So it's like now he's going so late though that it's like he's clearly could step into the Raheem Mostert role that's been located on the Dolphins.
Well, come on.
Hang on. People get this running back rookie hype shit.
Hold on. As the former diehard Dolphins fan here,
new New England Patriots fan,
possibly it is possible. Let's be real here. What happened? First off, Jalen Wright. Did we forget what happened last year? He was the hot rookie for the Dolphins that was going to step.
Yep.
Ollie Gordon does not even fit the Dolphins scheme at all. He's not going to get the ball. He's going to get minimal playing time. Talking about Ollie Gordon, part of this is the fit of the team that you get drafted to, whether it's not talent. So I got to stop. You got to stand.
Ollie Gordon is not doing anything.
Nothing. I laugh at the idea that Ollie Gordon's doing something.
Here's my issue with that running back room as a whole, and just that offense in general. Their biggest issue was offensive line, and they didn't do a good enough job.
Nothing has changed. It's Miami, of course.
Yeah, they didn't do a good enough job in the draft. They made the panic pick of Kenneth Grant, which was like 20 picks ahead of consensus. It was a panic pick because Tyler Booker was gone. Obviously, they had the intentions of bringing in Tyler Booker, but he was gone, and they just panicked, and they did not do anything to address it. The culture there is shot. Jalen Ramsey on the way out, Tyreek Hill on the way out. So yeah, maybe there's room just because everybody else just
And Disco, don't forget when Tua gets hurt, you get the pleasure of having Zach Wilson under center. That's going to really go well. We saw
Quinn Ewers.
Yeah. Oh, well, sorry. If it's not going to be Zach Wilson, then we get Quinn Ewers. I mean, Ollie Gordon, I would take him off everyone's draft board.
I just got Jalen McMillan 29 picks past ADP, by the way.
I see that.
I mean, I'm not bullish on him, but shit. On an offense where Mike
look
Evans
at Shaheed. I got Shaheed 33.
That's crazy. But on an offense where we see Mike Evans get hurt frequently and Chris Godwin coming off of an injury, there might be a world where we're going to see him and Egbuka simultaneously as the 1 and 2 punch on the offense. Why the hell not draft him at 20? Let's catch up with the chat, and then we'll keep this conversation going. Jack smashing the draft. Mossy, great work. Thanks again, boys. Love the streams. We love you, Mossy. James says Chase Brown is being drafted way too early. I agree, and I was the Chase Brown truther last year. Agree. James says Bones. Taj Brooks, just remember the name Monster Rookie. I'm here for it because if I'm not taking a shot on him, I'm on Zach Moss. I'll take a shot on him for sure. Stop sleeping on Spencer Rattler. I'm fast asleep. Comatose. Yeah, done.
Hey, I will say I met Spencer just a couple months ago down at Super Bowl. Nice guy. I'm gonna draft him. I'm not sleeping on him. Don't worry about that.
Bengals offense is built to score 40 to 50 points per game. Brooks is going to bust them defenses. Okay, he's the one throwing hurt. Exactly.
It's like last year, man. It's like I know this running back class is obviously a lot deeper than last year, right? But you could have heard Blake Corum, Benson, all these, every truther there was. These are pro running backs, man. You don't just come in. Taj Brooks is not going to touch Chase Brown unless he gets hurt, guys. Come on, it's common sense.
But here's the thing, right? Chase Brown
leaves that's a lot. Bottom line.
He leaves a lot to be desired. He leaves a lot to be desired on the field. His pass pro isn't ideal. He doesn't make the right reads in a lot of run games. He got away with pure athleticism and just the tops being taken off. Right, I'm not drafting him at his ceiling. I refuse to draft anybody at their ceiling, especially because we're reacting based off of last year. His numbers are inflated, and I'm just not interested. Mossy says Wright is also a great pass blocker. Don't see Ollie getting time unless HN gets hurt. Saw Chase being drafted
he's not going to come unless he's hurt.
Yeah, 3rd, 4th round this week for sure. But there's a world where that's possible. All right. Let's go on to our next player. Are we drafting him at his floor or are we drafting him at his ceiling? What kind of outlook do you look for him? And this guy is a hot topic, a hot debate. A lot of people love him. A lot of people hate him. A lot of people swear by him. A lot of people are swearing at him because they're just sick of him and his shit. Breece Hall. Are we drafting him at his floor or his ceiling currently with his ADP being at 35.4, somewhere in the 3rd round? Some asshole just took him in the 2nd, though. Are we drafting him at his floor or his ceiling? What kind of ROI are we going to get from him? Jack.
I think this is the good Breece Hall year. I look at the way that they've reshaped the offense with Justin Fields being kind of like a one-track quarterback. So I think they're going to also put a real emphasis on the run. And even though Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis, and they just brought in some other guy that I like, Donovan Edwards, he was kind of decent. So they have a really like a packed running back room, but I still think Breece Hall is the most electric out of all of them. And I do think that he's going to get the chance to be the RB1.
You fucking rat.
Into the draft. They also added.
He didn't even want to touch Rashard Smith before. You fucking.
What do you mean? Rashard Smith has always been my guy. Go back, watch all the clips, look at all the tweets. Rashard Smith has always been my guy. Don't disrespect me. Please go ahead. Go ahead, Jack.
And I have him in every draft we've been in, but all right.
That's fine.
No, I've lost my train of thought now, but it's fine.
Jalen Royals. All right. I wanted that.
I only got Marshawn Lloyd because Debro made an excellent case on him yesterday. I kind of like wrote him off for dead, rightfully so. He did me so dirty last year, but can't control what you can't control. And he got hurt, and then he had an emergency appendectomy, and that happens, right? Breece Hall, rip. Are we drafting him at his floor or his ceiling? Are you investing this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're drafting him right in between. It's kind of a cop-out answer, but it's not really
It's a fucking terrible answer, but please.
It's not a ceiling.
I want to see where you're going.
It's not a ceiling because, look, last year he's a top 5 overall pick. That's his absolute ceiling if he puts it together this year. He's got a chance. He's got the quarterback. He's got the new regime. They are talking about splitting all 3 of them at some level, so that takes away from maybe his overall output, but maybe that helps him stay healthy, and he doesn't need as many touches. He just needs to stay healthy and have the opportunity consistently. And so, therefore, it's in the middle because it's not his ceiling, but it's also not his floor because if one of those other 2 pops a little bit, it could be more of a split than we want. And so it's right in the middle there. I would draft him where he's at, though.
Okay. So, Slays, I know your answer, but for the audience who's listening in, please let them know.
Breece Hall is my number 1 guy that is picked in the top rounds that I'm avoiding this year because I believe if he comes out and doesn't pop in week 1, that's going to be his only shot. Because I love what I see from Braylon Allen.
I'm going to disagree wholeheartedly. If you look at Aaron Glenn, he is coming from the
double-headed running back monster.
Exactly. He's coming from Detroit where Johnson and Campbell, they had a 2-headed monster. They saw how it worked, and they were both very efficient, including Jahmyr Gibbs being the efficient big play monster, right? Breece Hall has shown in the past that he's capable of being that. Another reason why I'm very bullish on Breece Hall, because I love the return on investment from where we're taking him, because it's nothing but positive equity, right? And positive equity, especially in these best ball tournaments, is everything. You want that positive ROI. So if you look at historically, both Justin Fields, what the running backs have done alongside Justin Fields, the numbers they produce, it's a 20% increase for Breece Hall right then and there if you're comparing. If you look at the New York Jets offense, and I know it's under a new regime and new scheme, but if you look at the Jets offense, without Aaron Rodgers, there's 20% more usage. So we're looking at minimum 20% more success for Breece Hall, minimum. And that I'm not just pulling these numbers or creating these numbers. This is actual facts. You can fact check me, check the data. These numbers are very accurate. You pair that with the fact. Now, here's the holy trinity, the trifecta. If you're religious, listen. Here's where you put it all together. We talked about it earlier. We alluded to it earlier. Running backs who are playing for the fucking bag have to go and ball out and secure the bag. If it's not in New York, it's somewhere else. We saw Miles Sanders do it. We saw Saquon Barkley do it. The end of his rookie year, not his the year he got franchise tagged. We saw Josh Jacobs do it the end of his rookie year before he got franchise tagged. We've seen so many running backs in the past go out and absolutely ball out. And DeAndre Swift, end of his rookie year, went and balled out, signed the bag, completely disappeared. Like the guys who got to go secure the bag, they're playing for their football life. They're more inclined to play through injuries and through bullshit. I'm not ruling out Breece Hall because of Braylon Allen. I think there's a world where both of these guys can succeed and eat, and there's a world where you should probably invest in this as a 1A, 1B, very efficient, very successful running group, because at the end of the day, Justin Fields is getting paid a heck of a lot of money, but he's not getting paid a heck of a lot of money to throw a lot. But they're also not paying him a heck of a lot of money to go run and get killed, right? So there's going to be a fine balance where they're going to be involved in at least a checked-out game, but a heck of a lot of the running game because they want to protect their main investment and probably one of their most. So, Breece Hall, I'm all in on, especially at this ADP. This ADP is an absolute gift. It's an absolute blessing. This is where you find league winners.
I'll throw something at you as well that'll help your case here. Justin Fields, the past 3 years at quarterback, has been in top 3 check down rate for the past 3 years. That goes as well to help it, but still, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers. The numbers.
I don't want anything
get
to
active.
And I'll stand up. I'll take all the heat at the end when it's over. If I'm wrong,
it's all good. No Cap Max says Braylon Allen was one of the least efficient backs by the end of last season. It's Breeze's job to lose, and I think he cooks. Amen and hallelujah.
The Jets were in fucking shambles last year. What do you mean? Don't give me that. Come on.
I mean, like, I'm not
It
going
was
to
over
disagree
before it
that
started.
the Jets were in shambles. As a Patriots fan, nothing brings me more joy than them being in shambles. Love the chats, get different perspectives. All right, guys.
You always say Jets are where quarterbacks go to die, man. So
Amen. Yeah, that's why I'm not drafting Justin Fields anymore. It's literally a quarterback graveyard, and it's depressing. Okay, last player, and Sleaze, you'll go first. Jack, you'll take us home. Are we drafting, right? And this guy has burnt everybody except for me last year, because I just said fuck him. I'm not interested. I'm not investing. He's being overdrafted, overhyped. But this year, I'm kind of like I like where he's going. I like his ADP. And I've been getting a heck of a lot of them, and I've been sniping Sleaze a heck of a lot on him, because Sleaze is as bullish on him on this ADP as possible.
I know who we're talking about already.
Phil Stone says let Rip go first. Fine, no problem, Phil Stone. We'll let Rip go first. All right. So Kyle Pitts, who's currently going off the board, where did he go? He went 140 to Jack, which is an incredible value in my humble opinion, but it's not my floor. His ADP is currently 148. Okay. This is in the where Jack round 12. Kyle Pitts. Are we drafting him at his floor, or are we drafting him at his ceiling?
Oh, it's easy. That's floor, and I'll tell you in a second. But I'm on my last pick. Do I want to go on a third tight end, or do I want my 8th wide receiver?
Bye weeks. I'm going 3 tight ends because we don't know.
Hold on. You didn't go elite tight end, so you should go for a third tight end.
All right. Then we're picking the tight end. We're speaking about a tight end. I'm going to make the pick. All right. Kyle Pitts. We are talking about the floor, and this is hard to say because it's Kyle Pitts. But here's the thing. We got a whole new quarterback this year, so at least we can expect that if he does anything and actually puts together a legit season, this is a floor pick on Kyle Pitts at this point. Now, I'm not betting on it because we've done this year in, year out. Every year is the year of Kyle Pitts breaks out. Now he has Penix. Maybe that's what unlocks him. But if he gets unlocked a little bit, this is his floor. It's quite easy to me.
Sleazemus.
Definitely his floor. I mean, you've never seen his ceiling till his rookie year, kind of. His 1,000 yards when he came out. You like what you saw with Penix, but what you didn't like is the usage, right? I mean, why is he playing 40% of snaps? I know the Falcons, in the games, they were kind of ugly games and they're pounding the run, but still, I mean, this guy should be out there 70% and he will definitely rise above that ADP. I can't stop drafting Kyle Pitts at value.
Well, you're going to have a lot of Max Payne type of weekends on Sundays with him.
I'm willing to ride it one more time. This is
that's what I say every off season. One more time.
This is the last ride.
This is the year.
Jackie boy.
Oh, I'm right there. I've historically ate off of Kyle Pitts' misery, because the best segment on my show the last 2 years has been who scored more than Kyle Pitts this week. And we've had poems, we've had Christmas songs, we've had all sorts of arrangements, because there's been a lot of names the last couple of years that have scored more fantasy points on any given week than Kyle Pitts, because he's been an abject bust. And I think it's being reflected in the ADP. You look at the tight ends he's going next to, look, the Colston Loveland thing, I get that he was highly drafted, but rookie tight ends until we got the Laporta and Brock Bowers anomaly, they have not always hit. And Cole Kmet didn't die. He's still there. And they've got a really packed wide receiver room. And Caleb Williams still has to take a big leap. I would take Pitts over him. Dallas Goedert is the most mid player that's ever existed in the history of fantasy football. This man, look it up. He has never had more than 60 receptions in any season. He sucks. This dude just gets hurt all the time. Constantly. He never finishes the season. He's never had more than, I swear, he's never had more than 60 receptions. He's never had more than 6 touchdowns in a season. His career high is 850 yards. And people just draft him year after year after year just because he's on the Eagles.
Jack, Kyle Pitts has never had 6 touchdowns in a season. In fact, he's played 4 seasons. He has 10 touchdowns total. I agree maybe on your Goddard feels, but, I mean, if you're talking about mid, That's Kyle Pitts.
I think Kyle Pitts has
Kyle Pitts' rookie year is
underwhelmed
all you really
compared
have.
to what we have all expected from Kyle Pitts. And I'm not saying that he's going to take the leap to what people wanted from Kyle Pitts, but if you're telling me like at this draft price, can he give me 805 with Penix maybe taking a leap finally and things starting to click in that? Like, yeah, I can buy into that. So I think he's absolutely like at a great value right now. Whereas like
Again, it's
historically he
contract
was
year.
going in like the
Kyle Pitts
Laporta,
is a
Kittle,
contract
Kelsey
year.
range.
Okay, here's a few things that are encouraging about Kyle Pitts and why I'm investing in him, and it 100% has to do with Michael Penix. If we're looking at the air yards per target, if we're looking at the kinds of target, if we're looking at where the targets are coming, which are predominantly red zone kind of targets, 30, 40-yard chunks, if these plays can come together, and if we look at the rate that he's being targeted with the rate that Michael Penix is throwing, and here's the thing about Michael Penix that a lot of people don't know. He doesn't take sacks. Right, he's not going to run like Russell Wilson to avoid a sack, but he doesn't take sacks. Very seldomly will you ever see Michael Penix take sacks. He didn't take it in Washington. He didn't take it last year when he was a starting quarterback. He does not get sacked, right? So he's going to fight and find a way to go deep and feed his guys. So it's either going to be Drake London or it's going to be Kyle Pitts. For that, right? And if we're talking about the discrepancy theory, like we alluded to earlier, if we look at the discrepancy theory between tight end number 3 and tight end number 10, it's negligible. You're talking about like 1 to 2 fantasy points, right? It's very close. So if we're looking at positive return on investment, especially in this kind of format, Kyle Pitts at the ADP of 149, it's nothing but good quality fucking equity. James says, Disco, stop waving your huge ass hands. Sorry, man. Sometimes when I get animated, I have to speak. What are my hands doing? I don't know what they're doing. But yeah, great discussions, guys. Absolutely. Don't forget about Darnell Mooney. He says, no cap Mac. I have not forgotten about him, but I have not drafted him once, not even in the earlies. And I've done like 40 earlies. All right. Those are the 3 guys that I feel like we needed to debate on, and we did. So time to change gears. We're going to give advice, feedback, constructive criticism, and obviously a grade. So we're going to start off with the 2 guys who are not on here on the panel, who are in the community and who drafted with us. And we're going to start with Fry. He went with, what's up?
No. Continue.
Jerry Bagshaw's in the house. He says, Penix's injury history still scares me. I watched him at Indy. I think he's past that, and he doesn't take sacks. A person who picked first got the best draft. God bless you, and thank you, Phyllis Stone. Go off, Jack. Don't forget about Darnley. He might be the best value in the offense. I mean, Ray McLeod's going undrafted, and Ray McLeod was as productive in certain weeks. So, yeah, I mean, that's definitely an offense you want to invest in. I'm not ruling out my guy. I was talking about him all offseason because I loved him as a player. Nathan Carter. I'm not ruling out Nathan Carter either as a kick returner. Shit, he might get you some fantasy points if the Scott Fishbowl rules are still existing. Why the hell not? I hate that he landed there. Think Cousins gets moved. I don't think the Falcons need to, because right now it's buy low for everybody, right? Everybody's buying low. It's when a team has an injury and they're desperate for a quarterback. I think that's when we see Cousins get moved in. Unless we see a team with a major quarterback injury, that's a quarterback away from winning. We're not going to see Cousins get moved. Great question, though. Okay, Packers fan goes 3-6-8-3. So your traditional best ball build, especially since we don't know what the bye week conflicts are going to look like, the bye week conundrums. It's safe and it's the smart way to go, but I'm not safe or smart. So we're going to keep going. He goes Bo Nix, decent value there. Michael Penix, he inserted the Penix, and Shedeur Sanders. So he's making the bet that Shedeur Sanders will prevail as the starting quarterback in Cleveland. Ash, I can't believe I've been live for 4 days now and I have not addressed the Shedeur Sanders situation. All right, RB, Ashton Genty, Derrick Henry, Chase Brown, Tank Bigsby, Dylan Sampson, Devin Neal. I don't hate it. It's not bad at all. Devontae Adams, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Matthew Golden, Josh Downs, Darnell Mooney, Xavier Legette, Amari Cooper. Fry, I've seen you draft a few times, man. This is your best one yet, in my opinion. I know Sleaze can talk more to it because you guys are.
It's one of his better drafts for sure.
Yeah, Jake Ferguson, Brendan Strange, Theo Johnson. I would, if you were a Theo Johnson truther, I would recommend you look into Thomas Fadone, because That's going to be the guy in New York. Just putting that Thomas Fadone. How nice would it be if what's the chicken cutlets guy's name? The quarterback there.
Tommy
Tommy
DeVito.
Cutlets, DeVito.
Tommy DeVito to Thomas Fadone. Oh my God, it's the New York recipe for.
It's gonna go
Get
real
outta
well.
here. All right,
Gonna go real
please,
well
your
for the
boy.
Giants if that's what they're doing.
I'm gonna say this: I don't like your receivers, even though they're solid and the floor is safe. The ceiling is just concerning. There are a couple names that can absolutely smash. Matthew Golden's probably the rookie I'm most bullish on out of any position in general. I love Matthew Golden. Your tight end room is probably your best room. Your quarterback room is nice. It's safe. Your running back room has sneaky elite upside, which is a very, and even though I was shitting on Chase Brown as your RB3, it's not bad because that's a good flex option, right? And then you got a bunch of handcuff, situational stuff. And I don't hate the Dylan Sampson pick. I just feel like if you're not strong anywhere, but you're not weak anywhere. Does that make sense? It's like it's a vanilla roster construction and it's a vanilla build, but it's good. It's good. I like it. I'm giving it a B. Sleaze, your boy, get him.
I mean, that's a great example of it. It's not superstar. It's not bad. It's right in the middle. I do think everyone is asleep on Jerry Jeudy's value, especially if Joe Flacco is the quarterback. I mean, he's going to absolutely explode. I like the value at 64 there. I like him around higher at what he can do. If Amari Cooper signs, you have great value there. The tight end room, I don't know about Jake Ferguson now with the addition of Pickens, how it's going to roll. Brenton Strange, super undervalued. Theo Johnson, I hate that pick as well. I'd go with right at the B- B range. Just right. It's average all around.
Jackie boy.
Hold on, Genty.
Sorry?
I am out on Genty.
Me too, man. I don't hate him. I just don't like him at ADP.
It's this format. And you know what? I actually ironically went through this with Bijan, who is now my 101. But Bijan's rookie year, I said the same thing. He's being overdrafted. And I expect Genty's rookie season to look very similar to Bijan's, to be honest, which was it was a good rookie season. Don't get me wrong. But it was the problem of he was being drafted 9th overall. And I'm like, yeah, there's like a handful of guys going in that range that I would definitely still take over Genty in a 1-year best ball format. This is like where the dynasty brain kind of leaks into a format where I feel like it doesn't belong.
Yeah, and I love taking advantage of that, and I think you nailed that on the head. Rip, what do you think, buddy?
I'll give him a C, C+.
Okay. So like we don't just rip. See what I did there? We don't just rip on the drafts. We give constructive criticism and constructive advice. What would you guys have done differently?
Yeah, I don't like the upside. I think because you're in best ball, you want to have
hitters.
You want more upside. You got to take more risk reward, like on the upside, and I just don't see it at the wide receiver position. You got to go 3 deep there. Those are more, as you said. I don't love the ceiling plays there. Like I just don't see that consistently over the season. You get upside. I like Genty. I'll take that. I'm also concerned at quarterback because there isn't high upside. I think the Shedeur thing is a joke. Penix. I kind of like Penix, but I don't know about the upside at quarterback either with Bo Nix. He's solid, but is there upside? Yeah.
I mean, he got him 7 picks past ADP, and he has correlation with Cortland Sutton there.
Also, let's just note one thing. This is ADP on May the 7th. These ADPs are going to fluctuate a lot, so it's going to change, 3-4 months from now, and obviously we don't know bye weeks, so there's a lot of variables that are unknown that could play into this being better or worse. But
yeah, but sorry to cut you off and interject there because there's certain ADPs that won't fluctuate, right? Like
sure.
what would it take for Bo Nix's ADP to either go up or down? There's not many scenarios and situations where his ADP would go up or down. Maybe
Keenan Allen.
Allen,
maybe a little bit.
Exactly. Maybe the addition of Amari Cooper, but we're not going to see it go up that much, right? So it's still a good value pick, and it's still a guy with a lot of good rushing upside that we didn't see down the second half of the season. So yeah, I understand it, but yeah, okay.
Just weekly speaking. It's hard to imagine Bo Nix and Penix over 16, 17 weeks putting up top 5 type weeks more consistently than not, and that's what worries me.
To enforce Rip's point and counter Disco, when the schedule drops, like I think the most important thing is we get to see who's like the outside divisions that they're facing, and just ease.
We already have that information about which division.
Yeah, we just don't know the actual schedule and bye week.
All we're missing is the bye week and the days and then like who's playing each other at the end. But we know which divisions are playing who. All right, let's look at Willie. Great breakdown, by the way, all of you. Willie goes 2-6-9-3, so a non-traditional roster construction. And the reason why we make a point of talking about these roster constructions and just the build and makeup of them is when you look at competing against 140,000 other people or lineups, you got to consider if the vast majority last year was 68.3% of the competitors drafted with a 3-6-8-3 construct, 3 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 8 wide receivers, 3 tight ends, right? So in order to stand out, one way you could stand out from the other group and outscore the other group and just differentiate yourself, especially give yourself a better chance, is by roster construction, going with a unique roster construct. So when I see a different roster construct, I like it. Okay. So Sleaze brought up an excellent point the other day. Last year, it was a very strange year where 76 of the top 100, if I'm not mistaken, Sleaze went 2-8-8-2, right? And in years past, nobody would really do that, or nobody would even touch that. And that's what the vast majority of the people did.
More bullets to fire.
Exactly. So Patrick Mahomes, heavy reach.
Yeah, big time.
He just didn't want you. Yeah, you just didn't want me to stack Xavier Worthy with Patrick Mahomes, but I also have Patrick Mahomes as league MVP this year. Jared Goff. Okay, great quarterback room so far. Jonathan Taylor, love the pick. I every time I take Jonathan Taylor, I have to take Giddens because I don't trust Jonathan Taylor to stay healthy, but he's also too good to pass up on. So I got to protect that pick. There is a lot of positive equity that could get out of it. David Montgomery, I'm kind of out on this year, especially with Zeitler gone to Tennessee. Travis Etienne, I love the pick. Austin Eckler, I understand it. Garando, I love the pick. Elijah Mitchell and Casey has sneaky upside league-winning potential in best ball. Just because we might see him finally be healthy, and he's got game-breaking speed in that offense. So I don't hate that. Amon-Ra St. Brown, so you got your stack there with Jared Goff, T. Higgins, Rashee Rice. You honestly are strong at wide receiver too. Rashee Rice with Patrick Mahomes, Jaden Reed, Quentin Johnston, Adam Thielen, Michael Wilson, Deontay Johnson, Mike Williams. I like Mike Williams as a round 20 pick. I really do. Travis Kelce, so you have 3 layers of correlation there. Colston Loveland and Elijah Arroyo, because you have to sprinkle in some Seattle Seahawks love because you love your Seattle Seahawks. The last draft you did on the show was an A+. This is closer to just based off of the reaches, right? If these stacks and correlations don't come organically, it's tough to stand out against the other people who have these organic stacks and correlations. I'm going to give you a B+ because you reached on a lot of players that you shouldn't have. You were looking for players and positional needs as opposed to taking best available and creating off of that. Sleaze, you go next.
So I agree. Willie's last draft was one of his way better drafts.
It's one of the better drafts I've ever seen.
This one I'm gonna give a C, and I have a lot of they got to listen to this right here. So when updates come, best ball literally mirrors it right back to you. So when you're getting Travis Etienne updates, when you're getting Green Bay wide receiver updates, they're going to fall. So when you're reaching for players that people are already panicked on, that's something I never do in best ball. Like Etienne, the update just came today that Liam Cohen is not impressed with Etienne's game, so he's going to fall to you either way, right? And Green Bay kind of made their stance of drafting 2 wide receivers in the first 3 rounds, what they think of Jaden Reed, what they think of Romeo Doubs. So those are guys I'm avoiding. That could just be my opinion. I agree with Jonathan Taylor. I'm always getting Giddens. He's kind of like, if I'm drafting, I'm blanking right now on his name. If I'm drafting
Breece Hall?
No, not Breece Hall. Who do I always say? James Conner. You need Trey Benson, right?
Yeah.
So I like that. But obviously the value, JT's a stud. Their offensive line is going to be different. I mean, you got Rashee Rice facing a probably 4 to 6 game suspension there. Your wide receiver room after that is looking real.
But Rashee Rice is one of his better value plays.
I know you got him 10 past. I like that. But
Yeah.
I mean, you're sitting with Amon-Ra and T and then 6, dart throw kind of. So Quentin Johnson's never draftable to me at all. The Chargers may bring in Keenan Allen, so Mike Williams might be nothing as well. Deontay Johnson, not even a guaranteed contract. I mean, Adam Thielen's probably your third best receiver, points per game. I just don't like this one compared to last time a lot. I'm just honest opinion. I give it a C.
All right, we got to catch up with the chat. Give me a minute, fellas. Mercy says, him, the guy. Let's go. Cousins gets moved if the other team's willing to take on a huge contract. Yeah, there's no out for Atlanta on that contract regardless. Thank you, sir. You're very welcome, Fry. I got you. I believe Cousins will get moved in June and wants to make sure he isn't getting backdoored like last year. Pause. Big ups, greatest stream from the biggest legend. I appreciate you, Mercy. You to Don.com. What? Bones says we need more likes bozos. Yes, Bones wants a free giveaway. Mike Evans is one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. Don't disagree. Should have taken BTJ over Genty. If we have 666 viewers right now, somebody stop watching. Please, for the love of God, this is terrifying. Tyson, good question. I personally would have taken BTJ over Genty, but yeah.
I personally did. I personally took him.
Yeah, I love BT. Yesterday, I took him at the 103. What do y'all think about the Colts QB room? I think it's an absolute mess, but I hope Anthony Richardson comes up with a job. But I mean, there's assurances that somebody will be good. Good. We're at 667 viewers. James says, "Mass average is C sleaze. C's get degrees. That's my university's motto. Let's go." Genty will cook, says Phyllis Stone. Bones thinks okay. I'm goofing. Shador going to start. Most accurate QB ever in college. I don't hate that call. Shadudu's dad will make us think, and oh god. Better than every QB on their team. It's not saying much. I'm not, but I do love Dylan Gabriel. I'm not even a big fan of him. I think they need a 6th QB. All right. Am I missing any questions or anything like that? Drafting Elijah Mitchell, an unhealthy amount. They're paying him more than Hunt. Yeah, I don't hate that. I hear you're not huge on following ADP this year. I don't hate that call. I really don't. Fannin is good. It's not the giveaway. It's the Ducks. I mean, shit, we could just do duck races for fun if you'd like. I hope Riley Leonard balls from the Colts from the bottom of the. All right, we're caught up. Rip into this lineup, please. God, it's so corny. It's great.
Listen, let's start with this idea of like comparing to your last draft. I don't know about these other drafts. We're talking about this draft. I'm going to give you a B-. I wanted to give it a B+, because I think you hit on a number of real high upside plays, but the depth is concerning. You know, I like the idea. I like Mahomes. I think, honestly, if he's ADP 77.7 today, I think by the time we get to the season, he's going to be in the low 60s ADP. I think as people believe that this is the season he puts it all together, because last year wasn't so great from a fantasy side with his weapons. And also, I think I saw a picture. Mahomes looked like he's in better condition, to be honest. I think his ADP will rise. So I don't even hate that you went early on him. I was hoping to get him. I love tag teaming Jared Goff there. I think at running back, Jonathan Taylor, best running back in football last year from weeks 13 on. I love that at the top, but then I get real worried because that ETN pick is terrible. There's no depth there, and you're really banking on Montgomery as your number 2. It just you fall off a cliff there. So it's like you have a great top guy and it's struggled to follow up there. So it's kind of very concerning. And then wide receiver, I love your smash plays. I like Higgins, Amon-Ra, great, Rashid, but then it's like, what happened after there? It's like you just went from awesome picks to just what the rest is just garbage. Like Quentin Johnson, Adam Thielen, Michael Wilson. I mean, those guys, you shouldn't have picked them if it was 300th pick. And the same thing, I like the tight end situation. Kelsey, Loveland, Arroyo, I love that. But I think this is going to fall short at the end because you're going to be hitting on these elite guys, but then you got nobody on the secondary, tertiary spots that are going to be weekly plays that you're going to need something from, and I just don't see you have it there. So I have to give this a B-.
Every time I hear tertiary, I'm always like, DFS? It's DFS time. Great breakdown, Rip. Jackie boy, what you got for our boy Willie?
Right there with you guys. Like I think if you're gonna build a 2 quarterback room, I like doing it with a Mahomes Goff style of combination where it's like I'm set on these two guys starting 17 games. Like that's great, but you know it's like both of Sleaze and Rip said. It's like after Jonathan Taylor and opportunity, it just falls off a cliff. And just kind of speaking to how I like to build handcuff running back rooms. Like, yeah, I like to take a couple individual shots on a Garendo or a Mitchell, but then it's like I also am looking for those correlation pieces that I can get late. I look at stacks like DeAndre Swift and Roshan Johnson. Like those guys are practically free. So I think you missed on a lot of those kind of secondary and tertiary running back stacks that you could have used to beef up and have like, okay, I've got 6 guys to have a solid RB2, RB3 behind my Jonathan Taylor. And then the wide receivers was the most egregious thing. Like Adam Thielen is basically a tight end and a wide receiver's body at this point in his career.
But he's also been as productive as any wide receiver to come out of that room, and he's always given positive,
for sure. But as
positive equity,
it's like 807. You know, it's not great. Like even the most productive wide receiver in Carolina is not. You don't want that guy anyways. Like it's like I'm sorry, Sleaze, but I'm avoiding the Saints. Like
Sleaze is a 49ers fan. That's
why are you sorry? You should say, hey. Yeah, you should congratulate Sleaze and tell him you're giving him.
I mean, hey, I got Rashid Shaheed 32 past ADP. I'll take that all day.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into our lineup shortly. Jack? What do you grade this draft?
I'm with. Can I go in between a C+ and a B-? Is that even possible? A C+, my B-? I'm like right in between the like. I'm literally.
I just look at it like.
I'm going.
Dude, you're CB Lucini.
If you have Rashee Rice suspended for 4 games, this roster is already toast by week 4.
Yeah, I think. I'm really not in on Rice either. Like I'm C+ actually.
PPR Fantasy Tip says Rip is going in. I love it. Bone says ripping ass right now. Let's go. Appreciate the feedback.
Why didn't you just draft those guys at 300?
Hey, it's all love. Willie, they were really rough on you, Willie, and I love you, and I'm trying to defend you right now. But that wasn't your best work, and I know what you're capable of, and you're capable of much better than that. So I'm looking forward to you bringing your A game. Hopefully the advice works. Once again, guys, this is all opinion. It's all theory. We could be dead wrong. We have the humility to admit that we could potentially be wrong, but we're betting like we're right. We're drafting like we're right because our research is there, and shit happens if it's not. But it definitely comes from a good place, even though Rip ripped him a new one. And
I gotta say, look,
I'm fucking with you.
I don't know Willie, but I do like Willie because I like his profile picture. Hockey guy. I'm a hockey guy. So shout out to Willie. It's no hate. It's all love, baby.
Yeah, Willie's great people. One of the OG disco balls. Clint says nobody actually likes Saints except Bayou Bengal Facts.
That's what I was thinking of. Sorry, I was mixing up Sleaze and Bengal.
Yeah, no, Sleaze is a diehard 49ers fan. All y'all going to be bamboozled after Spencer Fries. Who is Philistone? I like him, especially Rip going to be ripping tears. Ooh, I like that one. We all have bad drafts sometimes. Hey, man, it wasn't a bad draft, though. If it was a bad draft, I would tell him. But it wasn't his best work. But once again, it's all opinions. All right. Since Sleaze is gone, let's rip his fucking draft apart. Let's just shit. No, I'm kidding. He didn't do too great yesterday, and he was beating himself about it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Sleaze has here. But we'll start with Rip's. Rip goes 3-7-7-3, so a unique roster construction that stands out from the majority of the field. So I don't hate it. He goes Baker Mayfield, Justin Fields, Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe is somebody who I'm trying to target around 20 as much as
pissed me right off. By the way, I gotta say I love having you on the stream. It's great to meet you and everything. Fuck you for that pick.
Hey, that's love. That's what I want.
That was like, I was like, for sure, there's no way Melrose doesn't make it back.
Disco needs to throw up. Do we just become?
And it was after C-Bets got me on Darnold too. So I was like, I missed Darnold by 1 pick. And then I was like, oh, well, Melrose will make it back. It's fine. And then Rip took Melrose. I was like, God damn.
Yeah, at that point, you got to throw just the dart on the upside, you know.
No, I love it. I love the pick. like again, the only reason I hate is because I couldn't make the pick myself.
What's the over under that's are any of you guys taking Sam Darnold to survive the entire season with that offensive
No,
line?
fuck that. I'm betting on Jalen Milroe
Every
starting
draft
after
that I've
week
taken
7.
Darnold, I've taken Milroe.
I did that yesterday in honor of you, by the way.
Plus, just quickly on Milroe. Milroe has that sort of Taysom Hill vibe where who the hell knows what's going to happen with him. He's like, honestly, there might be a couple of weeks where all of a sudden he's just doing things where he could be doing all sorts of things. So I'm expecting the unexpected from Milroe. It's just one of those fun players too. Like
I'm writing Darnold off. I am respectfully.
I'm having 0 of Darnold.
I'm writing him off. If I do draft Darnold, because he's fallen 20 past, and I'm protecting it with a Jalen Milroe pick. All right, RB, Omarion Hampton, Chuba, Tajay Spears. I hate your RB room. I really don't like your RB room. J.K. Dobbins, Jarquez Hunter, Kareem Hunt, Kyle. So like you need minimum 2 top 10 running backs on a weekly basis, and I think there's going to be several weeks where you don't even get 1 top 15 running back. So I hate your running back room. Your wide receiver room is spectacular though. Brian Thomas Jr., Drake London, Tyreek Hill, Jaden Higgins, Marvin Mims, Cedric Tillman, Alec Ayomanor. Everybody who's drafting DK is trying to bamboozle me, but it's not happening. I'm not getting canceled. Not this year. Not for mispronouncing that one. Sam Laporta, John Smith, and then Oronde Gadsden. Your wide receiver room is spectacular. Love your tight end room. I love your quarterback situation. Your running backs is terrifying. I mean, Chuba could be the guy. Tajay Spears is going to have.
Hold on. Chuba is the guy.
Chuba is the guy. Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not talking about is the guy in Carolina. Like fuck, how easy is it to be the guy in Carolina? Jalen Coker was the guy in fucking Carolina. Anybody could be. It could be Raheem Blackshear. Listen, Chuba's good.
Let me just add it. You guys can keep going. I love this. I'm not wrong. I'm actually with you. It is terrifying, this running back draft, but I'm going to stand on Chuba Hubbard. First of all, he's my best running back here right now. We've never seen Hampton in the league. Chuba was really good last year, and there's no reason he ain't going to be really good this year. So, I actually think Chuba is the one guy there that I feel very confident in.
And do you think you're going to get?
I think you could have protected it because it's like Dowdle is so free, ETN Jr. is so free. Like instead of a Kareem Hunt, that's where it's like fuck Kareem Hunt. Like you could have. I think
Kareem Hunt's a bulldozer, man.
Kareem Hunt is a vulture. But yeah, I hate your running back room. And for that, your running back room, like I don't know how to grade you to your face. I'd rather do it behind your back. No, I'm kidding. I'm giving you a C, like a solid C, just because.
Right, I'll see you later.
You're not going to get top 10 running back production from this running back room on a consistent basis. Maybe down the stretch, but your wide receiver room is spectacular. It's just more balance. It's just more balance. I think where you took Justin Fields, it should have been another running back. So you took him 87th. Let's revisit the 87th pick.
That's ugly, man.
You had, fuck yeah, your options were shit.
Very shitty. It's very ugly.
Ryan Robinson, Tyrone Tracy, Jalen Warren, Najee Harris, Zach Charbonnet. I still would have taken all of these guys.
No,
but maybe instead of taking Baker Mayfield, especially with no correlation.
No, when he fucking took Justin Fields, that's when it should have been a running back. Why?
You're just mad that I took him and you didn't get him, dude.
Blocked me.
Like Baker Mayfield, uncorrelated. Sleaze, I don't know where you've been. I literally was just talking about Justin Fields the entire time. But like DeAndre Swift, DeAndre Swift.
I like the backup that I took the 200 plus, a lot more than taking DeAndre Swift at 83.
Yeah, I just for this format,
I don't like Swift either.
I think you need to make sure that you're safe with the position that you're getting, so you can ensure potentially top 10. But hey, I could be wrong. Once again, I could be wrong, but very seldomly does that happen. Like,
I'm gonna only tell you one thing, and you guys can keep grading me. I love this. The only thing that bothers me is I really wanted Jaden Blue. I wanted Jaden Blue. He went 2 picks before I was going to get Jaden. That was what I think would have made this a lot better.
Yeah.
And that killed me. But this is what happens when you go 3 wide receivers right off the top. At some place, you're going to either have to get lucky with the draft or you're going to have to make, some decisions. And I'm going to have to get a little lucky. But there is a
He seemed to
definite.
go one pick in front of you in Dynasty too. That's
There
a
is-
crazy thing.
Yeah, thanks, man. There is also a possibility here, though, that Hampton is a stud, and all of a sudden I have a Hampton Hubbard combo, and who knows where J.K. Dobbins signs. So there's some potential there, but it is terrifying. I'll agree.
Yeah. Willie says, "Go Leafs." PPR tip says, "Love seeing Sleaze going Milrow." It was Rip that went Milrow.
Yeah, dude,
RTR.
who knows?
RTR. Milrow is a guy I'm sad I passed on in my third round of my rookie draft. I understand that. His athletic profile is just up. He's Jalen Hurts. He's fucking Jalen Hurts. Our O-line is still horrid. Love the Milrow dart. Yeah, I love Milrow because of that. We're gonna see Sam Darnold seeing ghosts. A couple Canadians on Rip squads. I like B-Rob there, says Jerry Fields is a running back. Willie says Willie's getting his revenge. Spencer Rattler got as many explosive runs as Kyler Williams. Wow, this Philistine guy is savage. Sleaze, talk about Rip's draft.
F. Took Justin Fields from me. Fucking straight F. No, it's not an F. Dude, Chuba Hubbard is underrated. He's a great running back there. Amari and Hampton, I think, is going to be good down the stretch. The rest of the running back room, you would need, Tony Pollard to go down, but we've seen what Tyjae Spears can do when he goes down. If he doesn't get concussions, he's great. He's on the Jarquez Hunter train. It's always Kyron Williams. I'm tired of this conversation. Kareem Hunt is a good vulture back. I don't know how it's going to play out. There's too many running backs there. Monan Jai, is he going to have a shot in Chicago? I've heard a couple people bring him up. I don't know about that. The wide receiver room is stellar. I love Jaden Higgins, Marvin Mims.
It sounded like you sneezed when you said that name, by the way.
Did I say it right? Monan Jai?
I don't know. God bless you.
Tillman is super underrated as well. The Browns offense is going to be a lot pass heavy if Flacco is out there. So that's why I like Judy and Tillman a lot. Jonnu Smith, I agree with Disco on the regression. Aronde Gatson could have a chance at beating Disley and Conklin, right? So could be nice. Should.
Don't worry. I am definitely taking him.
I would go B-, but the running back room, is rough.
Heard. Kyron Williams is fried, says Philistone. Bone says, do all four of you guys have to test?
I heard all that Kyron shit last year with Corum too.
Yeah, Kyron's returning kicks.
Yeah, he's done. Top 7 running back.
Jack, did you want to add to this?
I don't really have anything to add, honestly. Like, I think I'm a little higher on the draft overall than you guys, even in spite of the running backs. Like, I had it as a B, but it really awesome. I just think the running back from JK to Monongai, like, you could have made 2 or 3 of those picks a little differently to secure rooms. And when you're doing, I think I prefer doing that when I'm doing a light running back build. If I waited till Hampton Hubbard, I'm like, okay, I got to make sure Dowdle's on this team. I maybe would have taken the Najee reach because then I'm like, I know I've got Chargers, Panthers locked, and then I can take my handcuff shots later. So that's just maybe like a difference of opinion how I would have done that. But otherwise, like the quarterbacks I was great with, the wide receivers, the tight, like everything.
Yeah, getting Tyreek at 34.
It was literally just those last 4 running backs for me that I felt
that's all it is for me too. Like, I hate your running backs.
Yeah, so
it's more of like a personal preference than like a roster construction situation. Like, it's very sound. Like, I will give you that. It's very sound, but the kind of running backs you have is just very meh. But like, we've seen crazier things happen in best ball. It's more personal preference than it is like a roster construct thing.
Yeah, I'm just going to close it out. Put it up there. I appreciate your thoughts. Look, first best ball draft of this season. So I was flying blind here from the top. But I will say you guys make really good points. The running back room is terrifying. In my opinion, specifically in the best ball format, I am going for broke. This whole backing up my running back, wasting these. No, I want almost all of my picks to be dart throws. And this is specific at the running back area where I had to throw darts on. I'm hoping I can nail 1 and maybe 2. That's why you see a Jarquez Hunter. That's why you see the Kyle Manelli lead. The Tyjae, I mean, there was not great options. At some places you have to sacrifice. You're right. It could be a little bit better. I'm hoping Hampton breaks out, but I think there is the opportunity here that the running back room could surprise on the upside. I hit a dart, and all of a sudden I think I have a contending roster, which is what I'm really looking to do. The build, though, does leave a lot to be desired at running back. You're right.
If I were to give you one more piece of advice, Rip, even though you don't need it, but I'm still going to give it anyways because it's my fucking show. Look a little bit more for correlation, right? Little micro stacks here and there. Like if you're getting BTJ that early, try to look for T-Law, right? If you're getting Drake London there, try to get Michael Penix. Just look for the correlation here. Little micro stacks that goes a long way, especially in these best ball tournaments. But it's solid work, especially for your best draft. Like I'm not ripping it apart.
Bring it on.
All right, let's see.
It's Jack and then Sleaze. All right, so Jack goes with a 3-6-8-3. Once again, we don't know the schedule, so he's making sure he doesn't have any bye week conundrums, and I respect it. He goes Jalen Hurts, Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones. So he double stacks the Indianapolis quarterback room, anticipating that the weeks that Jalen Hurts struggles or has a bye week, one of these two guys is going to be the guy who keeps this roster afloat, because obviously he made the pick early on. And I love Anthony Richardson's value at ADP right now. It's absolutely spectacular. I'm doing the hand thing again. Running back, Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr, I go again on my own. Love the pick. Caleb Johnson, I understand it. Brian Robinson, Cam Scatterbo, Tootin, Taj Brooks. It's a dynasty guy drafting in best ball. I would expect more from you at the running back position. God, no kidding. AJ Brown, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Devonta
Not
Smith.
a bad running back room.
It's not bad at all. It's not. I see all these rookies and I think dynasty. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Devonta Smith. I like the double stack correlation there with Jalen Hurts. You're getting the ceiling no matter what. Cooper Kupp, love the Kyle Williams pick. You got correlation with Alec Pierce, DeAndre Hopkins, Tyler Lockett, Kyle Pitts, Mike Gesicki, Benson. I have not made the bet on Benson this year. I had like 40% exposure last year. I've not made the bet on him once. I'm going to say this is a B+ for me. You're sound literally everywhere, very sound everywhere. It's just the names that I have an issue with, but roster construction, structure, correlation, it's all there. So it's a B+ for me.
Me? Who's up? I'm going to go with the B. I like the Anthony Richardson, Danny Dimes. If A-Rich pops, it's one of the best steals you can get in best ball for sure. Caleb Johnson, love the pick. I love the running backs. I love Tootin, Scatterbo, Brian Robinson, all nice picks. But I'm lower on Jay Season this year. I don't think he's going to break like last year, especially with Sam Darnold, with the nightmare he's going to have. I'm never reaching for Cooper Kupp. The wide receiver room is pretty much 2 Eagles and 2 Seahawks. I get the correlation, but I don't like triple stacking. If you look back last year, there's not a lot of teams in the top 100 that triple stacked any quarterback and 2 wide receivers. So I try to stay away from those this year. I'm not saying it's going to repeat itself, but Kyle Pitts, I absolutely love the pick. And I can't stop drafting him at that value. And Gesicki, 6'6", man, he can pop any week in that offense. So I like that, but Benson I'm staying away from as well. I go with the B.
Ripper.
Yeah, it's a pretty good draft here, Jack. Could have been better if you had Milrow, because
Yes.
having Daniel Jones is like having no one and just wasting a slot. I mean, look, if Richardson does boom, it's really
so
strong.
funny though, because it was supposed to be. I got sniped 1 pick ahead on Darnold, and so I took A-Rich, and then you took Milrow. So I was like, well, fuck, I'll just take Danny Dimes to make sure I have Indy quarterback.
You mean Danny Pesos? And like, here's the thing, right? If somebody snipes you on Sam Darnold, they're kind of doing you a favor.
Well, with the build I had with the Seattle and Eagles thing going on,
I get it, but
I love your my favorite picks that you made were Tootin, and I love Kyle Williams. I just love those 2 picks. I thought rounds out this roster really well. As long as Hurts stays healthy, I think you're in for a good season. I'm giving this a B+.
Love it. Bone says, ripping my hair out listening to this guy. I'm sorry, man. Dad jokes is kind of like my thing, even though I'm not a dad. Not that I know of, at least. JK running out of puns. Get them a rally rags out. A+. A. All right. Sleaze, you're up, buddy.
Break me down.
Sleazimus Decimus Meridius. 2693. Dak Prescott. Drake May. I like your quarterbacks. Bijan Robinson, Bucky Irving, Tony Pollard, Tyler Algier. Your running back room is spectacular. You could have stopped. DJ Giddens, Ollie Gordon. There's a world where those guys are viable, but your first 4, like you protected Bijan with Tyler Algier, which is like spectacular. I love that. I love that a lot. That's a great running back room. Wide receiver, not bad, man. Not bad at all. Like, this is one of your better wide receiver drafts you've done so far this year. Garrett Wilson, DK Metcalf, Zay Flowers. These guys are all home run hitters, right? Chris Olave. I think in this Kellen Moore offense, we're going to see a resurgence. Rashid Shaheed coming off of a bad injury, but 30 picks past ADP is fucking wild. Wan'Dale Robinson's criminally underrated. This guy was targeted and peppered last year, and people think he's just going to fall off of a cliff. Jalen Royals, I like the pick. Tolbert, home run hitter to go with Dak, little micro stack there. Pop shot another little micro stack with Drake May. I don't hate that at all. Your tight end room is elite. You could have stopped that Evan Ingram, but I understand getting 3 layers of correlation, especially at value, is not bad. TJ Hawkinson, Evan Ingram, Hunter Henry. This is your best draft this year. Even in the earlies, I'm giving this an A-.
Let me hear it, Rip. What you got?
This is just a typical sleazebomb draft where he comes out, he brushes his shoulders off, he does his commentary, he tells you this is the most award-winning draft, he's got it, these are the guys to pick. It's a great draft. This guy knows what he's talking about. He's done well. I don't know why he picked Ollie Gordon after we just destroyed that guy an hour ago. He must have had a brain fart and missed there. But no, it's a good draft. A little heavier on New Orleans than I would like. Between Olave's end of last year, his concussions, I'm not into the New Orleans situation. There's a little bit of concern for me at the wide receiver position. We don't know what Metcalf will be in Pittsburgh because we don't even know who's quarterbacking there. So there's a little concern there potentially. And obviously, you love, Dak, but I love the combo of Dak and Drake. I'm going to give you an A- here because I really like what you did there. You obviously know your shit. I think you're going to end up challenging, but coming up a little short.
Yeah, I don't think it was there all the way yet. It was one of the better ones, though. But
yeah, no, it's definitely an improvement.
It was either Marcus Yarns or Ollie Gordon, and I went with Gordon.
Well, I wanted Marcus Yarns, but I had a brain fart. I even queued him up, but I had a brain fart. Sometimes when you're live, you just shit the bed, but it's not about me right now. Jackie boy, what do you guys say here?
I'm at a B+, but that's only because I think Bijan is the type of running back you don't need to protect. Like, I think you could have got maybe a better dart throw than Algier in the same position where it's like maybe this guy actually becomes like the full-on starter, whereas like Algier is obviously capped by Bijan's presence. So like I don't
had a couple 20-point games with him.
Yeah, like, I'm saying like I don't hate the pick, but I think you had opportunity. Like, he goes a little high, I think, where it's like you still could have got like someone with a little more upside in my opinion. But this is like apples and it's like very minimal stuff. And then the only other thing that I hate is New Orleans wide receivers, because it's like you did the triple stack thing you said, but you did it with a worse team and a worse team.
Well, I did. I was like, so far.
That's the only one where I was like, those 2 wide receivers, I don't want them anywhere.
So you guys don't like the best ball value quarterback or not of the Saints playing from behind almost 90% of games?
Here's the thing, Sleaze. It's nothing but positive return on investment with those guys that you have there.
Right.
And there's a world where Bucky Irving and Tony Pollard could do absolutely nothing, but you'll still get like a 30-point game from Bijan and 20 plus from Algier. I don't think he's protecting him simply as a handcuff in case there's injury. There's games
there's a world where he gets points. Yes.
Well, both of these guys get 20 plus points, and that's why I like these not these RBs by committees, but these rooms where there's 2 viable running backs that could both eat, especially when you have Carolina twice a year.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Go.
But I just like the Saints just because the garbage time is going to be there in bunches.
Saints wide receivers.
All right. We'll save the best for last. This is why you guys came. I haven't drafted a bad team yet. We'll see. I don't remember what I did here, but I hope it's good. Rip, you'll go first. You'll rip me a new one, hopefully. I go 2, 6, 8, 4. Trevor Lawrence, CJ Stroud, Breece Hall, Alvin Kamara, Kenneth Walker, Najee Harris, Marshawn Lloyd, Brashard Smith. Fuck you, Sleaze. Jamar Chase, no matter what. Xavier Worthy, Jordan Addison, Khalil Shakir, Michael Pittman, Jalen Knoll, Jalen McMillan, almost 30 picks past ADP, which is criminal. Dante Thornton, tight end, I went with 4. I went Tyler Warren, Tucker Kraft, Cole Kmet, and Taysom Hill, just because I want 1 or 2 spike weeks in round 20. Rip, what do you think?
Yeah, I like this. I think I gave Sleaze an A minus. My mind is an A minus weapon. I'm giving you, Disco, an A minus as well. This is really good. My only concern here, honestly, is Worthy as your number 2. But I love Addison, Shakir, and then maybe a return to prominence from Pittman this season. You've got McMillan. You've got upside with the Jalen Noel. We'll see what happens there. Obviously, Jamar is incredible. I love the Hall, Kamara, Walker running back room. I don't care for the rest. Brashard Smith, the dart throw late, solid. And then it's really just comes down to the tight end. I know there's what is Tyler Warren going to be is the real question. If Tyler Warren turns out to put in a huge rookie season, this is an incredible roster. And Trevor Lawrence is due for a big season this year. We talked about it early in this program. I think it's a wonderful draft. I'm actually a little jealous that I didn't do it.
I got one here for you, just before you go in. Speaking of stealings, there's no way Jordan Addison is going to put up another 9 and 10 touchdown year, right?
Not with JJ McCarthy.
So, I mean, he's one of the guys that I think is definitely drafted at his ceiling.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think he's better in I like it in best ball because I think Addison
100%.
Weeks, and that's why I like this build because Shakir I think is underrated actually and going to be better.
I like
Shakir.
I do.
Right, the combo there is going to make it more solid throughout a best ball season. That's why I like that. But I'm with you on that, Sleaze, on Addison.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Addison is a major avoid everywhere but best ball, especially if he falls 3 picks. Jackie boy.
I love this draft.
Actually?
Yeah, I'm at an A minus. I think the only thing is the tight end room. I mean, if you're going to punt on something, tight end is the thing to punt on. I don't hate any of the, except for Taysom Hill, which I get it. Like he could still, but I feel like his injury, I have to look into more like what the injury was.
It was a PCL patella.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was a bad
lateral ligament. It was pretty much everything in his knee.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's already like 34, but it's like he took him with the last pick, so kind of who cares? But I'm just saying, like, he's already old and had a like what I would estimate as a possible career-ending injury. Like, we may never see like that Taysom Hill again that we were seeing. But I get making that pick, but it's like everything else I love here. Like, the running backs are great. If you're gonna wait on quarterback, you did it this way that I like to do, where you take 2 solid guys that, in theory, should make it through the whole year. You got easy correlations. I like your 3 running backs, Priest, Alvin, and Kenneth, and then you still get Najee and Marshawn. And if Brashard Smith hits your lap, like, I like everything about this draft except the tight ends.
I appreciate you. Bone says he set up a spreadsheet earlier of Rip puns he's pulling from. He's too good. I didn't know Rip was coming on the show until like 5-10 minutes before, and Rip is.
It was a last-minute text.
Honestly, he's always welcome on this show. If you guys don't follow Rip, make sure you do. Fix your life. Last year, he said one of the best bets you can make in the preseason is Denver Broncos over, what was it, 4.5 wins?
Yeah.
I think it was 6.5.
6.5, yeah.
Sleaze was openly mocking me.
And so Javonte Williams.
Yeah,
he's just mocking me, and just made me feel I had to go. It took a while.
It was right.
Yeah. And I also said that the Miami Dolphins were going to suck camel dick. I was bang on. All right, Jack, what do you grade it?
I said A minus.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, just a lot's going on. Sleaze Bomb, take it home.
A minus here, and even with drafting Brees and reaching on Brees, I'm gonna give it an A minus. I don't like Brees at value, but obviously you love the contract year he's in. Kamara, I think, is criminally underrated. Kenneth Walker, still, I mean, they can say contract year. They can show me the picture. This guy being jacked. That offensive line is still trash. So I'm still kind of on the fence with Kenneth Walker, but I love him as a running back for sure. Najee going to see probably 10 touchdowns in the red zone. Great pick there. Debro kind of talked me into Marshawn Lloyd yesterday. I was going to take him, but I took Giddens instead. Fuck you for Brashard Smith. Jamar Chase, Xavier Worthy is not going to be wide receiver 1, guys. Get that out of your head.
He's going to be top 5. I mean, top 5 is for me.
Jordan Addison, again, he's that guy. Do I want to draft him? Do I don't want to draft him? But he's a good play. Khalil Shakir, I love. Michael Pittman is super undervalued. Jalen Noel, I like the little micro stack there you got. McMillan, I mean, he fell 30 spots. Is Egbuka just already scaring people out from him already? That's kind of a really low value. I like that. 6'5" home run hitter Thornton. We talked about him yesterday. And Tyler Warren, guys. I can't say this enough. This guy is going to be so good at football. I don't care about the QB situation. I tweeted it today. Look what Brock Bowers did with Aiden O'Connell and Desmond Ritter and Gardner Minshew. You got to Taysom Hill Swift.
Okay, but fine, please. You got to admit, if Anthony Richardson is throwing the football and completing 50% of his passes, it doesn't matter what you think of Tyler Warren.
Well, that's why you use Tyler Warren as quarterback.
Here's the thing. Okay. Here's the thing you guys are not
played in high school.
Did you see the highlights of
he's their QB3 on the list?
May I just say something? Shane Steichen, his offense is premised off of check down work towards the tight end and targeting the tight end. We saw it with the combination of Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert when he had both of them. Now that he has finally a viable, real tight end one, I think that's the best thing that's going for Tyler Warren. You pair that with his freakish size and athleticism. The guy is a fucking
rush
monster.
For 500 yards, dude. He's crazy.
Yeah, he at the 120th pick overall, I think there's nothing but positive equity. Am I going to say there's going to be the third rookie tight end to be the tight end one in the upcoming season? I'm saying if anybody has a chance and has the build and has the right situation, it's him. I have him as a top 5 tight end this year. He is tight end number 5 for me.
Again, I just think it comes down to Richardson ripping bombs at him from 3 feet away. I mean, that's what I agree with. Like, I see it with Tyler Warren. If he gets the quarterback that can actually not kill him and get him the ball, not like over there, right there, you know. So that's the only concern I have. But I think we all love this draft. You crushed it.
But you didn't need Cole Kmet or Taysom Hill. I mean, Tyler Warren's elite enough to me already. If you have him as a top 5 tight end, we talk about elite picks. You say once you go elite, you don't need to go 3 or 4. I mean, I would have just stayed with Tucker Kraft and Warren.
Yeah. When I talk about elite tight end, I'm talking about like the name of the roster construction where you go with a tight end like Brock Bowers, or you go.
But he's like a Taysom Hill 2.0, 10 times better. He's going to be lights
out.
I love
and like that's the thing I like about it, right? You look at Tyler Warren, what people are forgetting about is he does a lot of that gadget stuff where he lines up in the wildcat.
He's going to throw a touchdown.
Why not get both of them in the same lineup? That's what I thought to myself. Why not get 2 wildcat guys in the same lineup? One of them could be my flex, and this could be the game breaker. It's just something that I've been playing with and thinking about, and something I finally did. And 4 tight ends could be weird.
I go A- though.
All right. Well, fellas, that's it for the show. Thank you guys for showing up last minute, but also bringing the fucking heat and the fire. You guys were absolutely amazing, absolutely spectacular. Rip, I know you got a jet soon. Please let the folks know where to find you, what kind of content you're putting out, and thanks again for popping on and just killing the show.
Yeah, this is the best. I love these are the dudes.
He's back.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I am back. It's taken some time, and I'll be back sooner than later, more regularly. But anytime you come on here and join, I love it. Disco is the man. Sleaze is the man. Jack, you and me just became best friends. I appreciate you. You can find me at
Milbro.
You guys are Shalom Bros. I fucking love it.
Exactly.
Shalom Bros.
Shabbat Shalom on tomorrow night.
Shabbat Shalom.
Anyways, follow these guys. Forget about me. I'm around. I'll be here when I can. I love this stuff. I love this show. I love you guys. Peace.
You're the man. Love you, Rip. Jackie boy, let the folks know who you are, where you're from, what you do, and as long as you'll freaking love me, bud.
I don't do much of anything right now, but you will find me in July ripping those best ball drafts. Until then, why don't you just watch Disco's show every night during the week? Make sure you guys go sign up to Drafters. Use the code DISCO, and I will disco my way out of here because I got to go put my kid to bed. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for hopping on, buddy. Love you, bud. Slays.
Are we quacking or are we not?
No, we didn't hit 30 likes, so I'm not doing it. But guys, if you're not subscribed to Slays Ball, in the YouTube description, right at the bottom, okay, of the YouTube description, his YouTube stream link is right there. Click that. Make sure you guys subscribe. Turn the bell notifications on. Nobody puts out more content than this guy, honestly. And if you guys support me, you have to support this guy because he's been the most supportive dude in my fucking corner. So I cannot vouch for any, like I vouch for a lot of people. I cannot vouch for any human more than I vouch for Sleazeball. He doesn't have to show up on my stream every fucking night, but he wants to. He wants to be here for me. He wants to help me grow as much as he grows, and it's organic and it's great. And I'm glad that we've met and crossed paths, buddy. Let them know where to find you. And
100%. Sleazeball, my mind is a weapon. Every single day at 4 p.m. you catch me on Big Draft Energy Show, and then my shows will start on May 14th here when we have the scheduled launch. And yeah, I mean, we'll be doing this all year, man. I'm dialed in. I'm ready. I think that we're drafting out of our minds. I think I've been screwing around for the first 3 days here trying to get magical with weird stuff. Just stick with what works.
Just get your fucking draft tool sorted, man. You just
he messaged me.
Thank you. All right, go.
Said I need to install the hack draft or the draft hacker.
Okay,
so that's what I'm missing.
Do that. All right, fellas.
But yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
Love you guys. Subscribe to Big Draft Energy, and make sure you guys subscribe to Sleazebomb. He just posted a great video for it was your top rookie dynasty rankings, right?
Quarterback dynasty rankings.
Top quarterback dynasty rankings. Make sure you guys check it out, smash a like, and leave a comment. All right. Until next time, guys, which is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Peace. I almost left.
All right, brother. I got to make dinner. I'm starving.